Alright, we are live. Welcome everybody. Let me make sure my audio is good. Perfect. Alright, I was originally going to do a members live, but looking into the Caleb Harris case and some certain details, found some interesting stuff, so we will definitely go over that. So we're not going to do a members live, so I'll have to do a makeup members live, but yeah, some very interesting stuff. Just combing through different videos that people have shared on different Facebook groups, and then looking at blueprints galore, and finally found the right blueprints, hopefully, and if they're correct, this could be some interesting stuff. But first, I just want to thank everybody taking the time to watch the show. If you're new to the show, welcome. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. We cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Before we get started with Caleb, we always like to give back by featuring missing people. And we do take requests, so you can always email me if you have a family member, friend, or someone that recently went missing. You can email me the details. But this is one that came in from a viewer. This is Nathaniel Scott Littlejohn, just 30 years old, 5'11", brown hair or brown eyes, black hair. Doesn't say much about his disappearance, but he just recently went missing out of North Carolina from the Arden area. If you have any information, you can call 828-250-6677, or excuse me, 6670. Again, this is Nathaniel Littlejohn. Recently went missing out of North Carolina in the Arden area. I'm going to probably butcher this county, Buncombe County. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but that's in North Carolina. Again, prayers for his family, and hopefully safe return for him. All right. Warning, before we get started, I have a toothache, and it is like piercing my every thought, so just bear with me. It sucks so bad right now. I almost didn't even do a live show today, but because of the interesting stuff I uncovered, I was like, I had to go live. So just bear with me. But if anybody's not familiar with this case, we will do a recap, and then we'll get into all the stuff that I've been combing through. Let me just get this up here. There we go. So here's just a quick 2-minute recap for anybody that's not familiar with Caleb Harris's case. He went missing March 4th out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover true crime mystery to the missing. Caleb Harris, a 21-year-old college student out of Corpus Christi, Texas, went missing on the early hours of March 4th, sometime just before 3 a.m. He just vanished. He was last seen with his roommates, caught on this ring cam, walking their new dog. This was taken at approximately 1 a.m. in the morning. Shortly later, Caleb Harris would order Uber Eats at 2:45 a.m. along with Snapchatting with his sister. Then after that, he sent his final Snapchat picture, which was received by his friend at 3:03 a.m., which shows a foggy picture of a bridge which was taken just outside his apartment complex located here. The next day, the roommate awoke to find that Caleb Harris was missing and that his Uber Eats order was still sitting outside. So what actually happened to Caleb Harris? And more importantly, what is this new lead that law enforcement allegedly has? First, we need to go back to the timeline and take a closer look as they learned Caleb Harris's phone went dark at 2:58 a.m. This time is crucial as this means this photo that Caleb took had to have been taken just before 2:58 a.m., meaning sometime between ordering Uber Eats at 2:45 a.m. and 2:58 a.m. when his phone went dark, something terrible happened to Caleb Harris. Jennifer Coffindaffer, who is a former FBI agent, has been covering this case and has been speaking with the family and doing many interviews. Although it's been nearly 3 months since Caleb's disappearance and no major developments in the case, it has not gone cold. According to Coffindaffer, in her latest interview, it seems law enforcement has a lead, and if by chance that lead doesn't pan out, they will release some kind of details to the public.
Is getting to a point that they do have some direction on where they're looking and what they're looking at. And so they're not at a brick wall yet, but the minute they get to a brick wall, they are going to make a release of information when they think they're at the point that it's going to help the case. And they don't think that right now. They don't think that what they're sitting on and not sharing, it's going to be helpful to share right now. But he wanted to assure everyone in the community.
So what could this lead be that law enforcement allegedly has? Many feel like Caleb Harris was abducted by someone, likely with a vehicle. Luckily, there. Okay, so that's just a recap of his story, and let me just get this video up. So again, right now, for anyone that hasn't heard, let me just get to the news report. We'll play that real quick, and then we'll talk about
man went missing in Corpus Christi. Now,
so he's been missing since March 4th. We are now almost coming up on 4 months. Now, recently on Monday, which trying to think the exact date that would have been, I don't know, was that 24th approximately, somewhere around in there, Monday last week. So it's almost been a week ago. So 6 days ago, Monday, they found human remains in a well station not far from where he went missing, literally half a block, probably even less. Now the body has not been identified. There are videos now that I've came across of him in the well. Be warned if you're combing through a certain Facebook group. But again, let me play the news report. But the body has not been identified as Caleb yet. So we do have to keep that in mind.
Corpus Christi police confirming tonight that the remains were found in a water lift station. The collection point is 40 feet deep and had to be drained to recover the remains. Now, to be clear, there's been no confirmation that the remains belong to 21-year-old Caleb Harris, who you see here, who mysteriously disappeared from his apartment in March. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story and bring you any updates as we learn them here on air and online at KENS5.com.
Confirms the discovery of human remains inside a wastewater lift station near Ennis Joslin at Lexington and Holly Road.
Yeah, several agencies, along with CCPD and CCF.
Okay.
CCPD did.
So there was just a couple of news reports. So this is where they were found. For anybody that hasn't seen, I'm just trying to get this a little bigger here. Yeah, somebody mentioned Orajel. Yeah, I've got it going. I've got Orajel, some Advil, all the above. It's keeping it at bay, but yeah, I'm sure everybody's had a toothache. It sucks. So he went missing. Here's the apartments. I know this is kind of small. We'll have a bigger picture here. But the apartments that he lived in, and then his little Snapchat was close to this little bridge, which is next to a storm drainage ditch. And the remains were found in a well station. A well station is kind of a substation. They have a bunch of them set around different areas, and basically it's where the wastewater comes. Gravity takes the waste, sewer water to a certain area, and then when gravity is no longer a thing that they can use, basically it goes to these substations where then it pumps it back up to a higher level, and then gravity does its thing, and then it just goes to the next one, and so on and so forth until it gets to the plant or whatever. But his remains were found in this little area. They're usually fenced off, and usually have to have a key to get into them. There's usually a system that checks the water level on this in this well station or lift station, as it's called. So this is Lexington Street. This is one street over from the apartments. You can actually see the Corpis Christi apartments in the background right here. And then the substation, I think, I'm not sure, it's real close in here. So he was found, again, really close, the remains were found really close to where he went missing. Oh, no, I don't know. Yeah, please don't mention root canals. I think I've only had one root canal, and that was no fun. But anyway, so the remains found very close. And
this video will explain the purpose.
I'm not going to play this entire video, but this is just kind of an explanation of what these lift stations are for anybody that's not familiar. So it's just a tiny little station that monitors the levels and everything. And basically, you got sewer lines that run from houses and whatnot. And I'll just kind of let the video explain itself, but eventually these lines will, gravity does its thing until it reaches a point to where it gets to a substation like this, or a well station, and it's basically, I'll just keep playing it here. It's a little fenced off area, and then it has a little kind of deep well where the sewer water goes into it. And then it has a bunch of pipes that then pump it up back higher up, and then it rinse and repeat basically. But usually there's stuff to detect the levels, so if there's any kind of blockage or anything, it should notify them. And then a worker will usually come and check these. I don't know how often. But anyway, the remains were found in this. So the question is, there are these little kind of metal grates, just kind of like the sewer things, but they're square, that lift up. I don't know if they're locked down or not. But either he or the remains ended up being dropped in, or the person went through the actual sewer line. I've had multiple people email me saying that it's possible, and then some others saying it's not possible. I guess it just kind of depends on the width of the pipes, but there are videos of people being stuck in actual sewer line pipes, really tight ones. But again, there's a video, of course, beware if you're looking, but the remains were found. This is kind of just a drawing of what it kind of looked like. A person looked like they were face down. The one thing that would point towards it possibly being Caleb is it looked like they had like blue pants on, but we don't know if that's just the decomposition. But here's a video showing somebody getting stuck in a pipe. He's fine. So I know it says trigger warning on it, but there's nothing graphic, I promise. The top half of him, I guess he didn't have a shirt, but as you can see, he's alive and well, but very tight. So it is possible to get through these sewer pipes. But usually these manholes are not easy to open up, but it is possible that, I guess depending on the area and the pipes, but from what I understand, it is possible. So here's a video that was posted on April 17th. Now, this was huge. So I'm going to play this and then show you guys what I found.
That one doesn't have anything on it. Okay. Now,
okay, so just some context to the video. You'll notice in the background, that's Corpis Christi Apartments right there. They are in the field. So here is, let me blow this up. Second here. There we go. So this is where his apartments were. Of course, he wandered and took his last picture right here. The video that's being played is right here. And the remains, again, we don't know if they're Caleb's, but the remains were found in this little substation. So this video that they're playing allegedly is uploaded on April 17th. So that would have been 1 month and a week after he went missing.
Search this area, the sewers, all the way, because I discovered this well. See, there's the cottages. I discovered this well. No manhole. I easily fell in there. And then this one hasn't even gotten uncovered. See, they didn't look in here.
Sorry, I should probably turn that down. The wind's probably.
This one either, because I just uncovered it.
Yeah, but how would someone
No, nobody brought him here. I'm just saying, like, maybe he could be stuck in the sewer. Maybe he fell in that one, and he shimmied his way through the tunnel or something down to this one. And he's stuck in here. Maybe he hit his head falling down, and he's stuck in there.
if you fall that far, it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
Right, maybe he fell. That's why he couldn't cry for help. I mean, they obviously did not search this area because I just uncovered them. And it's right by the cottages. Very well could have been barefoot walking distance. I mean, he was barefoot, right? So maybe he saw the anomaly that I saw on Google Maps, because I saw this place on Google Maps and I wondered what it was. So that's why I decided to come out here and check it out.
So in the start of the video, it shows that there is one of these. It looks like there's two, if not three. I'm not sure, at least two, but one of them's open, according to this lady that's coming out looking for Caleb, which is very interesting. Now, we know in the past we've looked at different, because there's two different kinds of drainage. We've got wastewater, and then we have stormwater. They're two different systems. A lot of times they're parallel to each other, but they do not connect to each other. They're two different entities. But so the question is this a sewer main or is this a stormwater drain? But I'll finish the video and then I'll show you the blueprints I found, and it was pretty shocking.
And then I discovered these three manholes. Huh?
Oh, so she says three, so I guess there's three.
The ground is relatively soft. You know, I don't see no stickers. I know I wouldn't come over here without no shoes, but there's a lot of Flintstones here in Corpus Christi. He's from New Brownsville.
He may not.
They don't wear shoes either. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna take this manhole cover off.
So it's really tough. I was trying to see the manhole covers because you can kind of tell with the manhole covers what they are. So I'm going to go to the street view here and show you guys what I'm talking about. So here is a sewer, and it's pretty straightforward because now I hate it because I'm trying to highlight it, but the arrow's over it. Maybe hard to see if you're on a phone, so I apologize, but you can see it says sanitary sewer. So obviously it's pretty straightforward that is a sewer line. Now we can see that there's green arrows that they painted. So there's an arrow going this way, arrow going this way, arrow going this way. But it's not going this way. So I thought, oh, and as a matter of fact, the lady, she is right here. You can see there's the cones, and I guess there's 3 manholes there. So I thought, oh, that's got to be a storm drain. But, and so here's the storm drains, and you'll notice, so they're on the sidewalks. So usually sewer lines will run through the road, and then storm drains will run parallel on the sides. And these are the storm drains, and then they would run along kind of parallel to the sewer lines. But of course, they do not connect because they separate those two, because that would be icky. So when I first saw this, I'm like, oh, this has got to be some kind of storm drain. But then went to the blueprints and discovered something kind of shocking. So let me keep playing here. What do we got? Holy cow, we got 800 people in here. If you can, please hit that like button. That is so awesome. I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch the show. At the very least, if you could, please hit that like button. That'll help this channel out. I've been looking at a ton of blueprints, and so if you go here, anybody can do this. We went up. I typed in Corpus Christi sewer lines. Then we got the top one here. This is City of Corpus Christi. It's going to load up here. And this gives us the wastewater mains, which is awesome. And then I just kind of went and searched where his area was at. And I'll just go ahead and play it here and show you guys what I discovered. So here is, we're looking at, of course, I have to pause it here, but let me go back one. Okay, so these are the sewer mains according to this blueprint, right? Here is Lexington Road. Here is the highway. Now what I did is I took Google Map and I overlaid it. So what I did is I basically kind of zoomed out. So we have Lexington Road here. We have the highway. And then we just kind of overlay those two together. And if you see, there's this little notch right here. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. This is important because that little notch. Oops. There's Lexington. There it is. See this little notch right here? This is where the site is, where the remains were found. So this is it right here. And this is kind of shocking. So now I'm going to overlay the Google map with the blueprints. And as you can see right there, notice this point here and this point here line up. This point right here is where those 3 sewer things are, where that lady was at. And then the one with the little triangle, that is where the remains were found. So this line, whatever those are, I'm assuming, according to these blueprints, are sewer lines. And those are, so here I circled, and this red is just me just kind of filling in where those lines were at. And as you can see, they go over. So I'm assuming, I don't know 100%, but according to the blueprints and overlaying the map, those line up. So now it begs the question, did Caleb fall in by himself, or was he dumped in there and they left the manhole cover open? Let me know what you guys think in the chat, but this blew my mind because I thought 100% that was going to be storm drain lines. Especially when I saw the streets and saying that they were painted, but
are identified. So we cannot say whether they are or are not Caleb Harris. What we do want to point out, this is where the remains were pulled from. City workers pulled the remains from this facility yesterday around 3 o'clock. Across this field, you can see an apartment complex. That's where we've joined you from before. That's Caleb Harris's apartment complex. That's where he lived in the last school year as he attended Texas A&M.
Let's see. So I discovered this not too long ago before I went live. It does give you more details. So filter data, pipe size 1, 2, 3. I have no idea what that means, pipe size. It goes 0 to 100. Is that like inches? I'm not sure how to. I just found this website, so I really don't. 1, 2, 3. What do you guys think that is? Do you think this? It doesn't label it 0 to 99. Doesn't say. Boy, and it goes up fast. Like, I'm already at 30. The other thing was what direction are they going? More info. View data table. No. Pipe size. Okay. I'm assuming these are inches. 36, 18, because I've seen those. Pretty sure that's the inches. Do I click on it or something? Assess code. 16 inch. The main miles. Oh, let's go on forever. Let me go back. Sorry, I haven't really dealt with the website, but anyway. Yeah, it would be interesting to know which way does it flow, but okay. Oh, geez, now it's really fast. I gotta find it again here. Okay, there's Holly Road. Oh, that tooth pain. There's the highway. Where are you? I know it's sitting right in front of me. It's driving me nuts. There's Lexington. Okay, here we are. There it is. So let me write this number down. But to me, I think that definitely means it's possible that that body, because obviously we don't know if it's Caleb yet, so we have to be very careful on what we... I wish it would say. Okay, so that's a different number. That's a different number than I just had right there, is it? These numbers change, don't they? Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. I don't know how I got that to pop up, but that's kind of cool. Downstream. Okay. Pipe size 15 inches. I'm assuming 15. What do you think? 15? That's got to be inches diameter, right? Downstream, upstream. I really don't know. See, how did I get that to go? So you can figure out more details, but again, this is 15. I'm just curious. Let me just. It says 18 inches or 18. I'm assuming that's 18 inches, right? In diameter. This was supposed to be members only, but then I figured out. I discovered this because I thought for sure that line that lady was walking over. I thought for sure. Oh, here it says 12 feet. 12 feet. 12 feet. No, that's. I'm not sure what these feet are. But again, just if you're coming in and you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Let me just replay this last little bit here, and then I'll just kind of let chat see what you guys think here. But again, it is possible. Oh, and then we'll talk about the other thing. But here is a guy. I don't know what the diameter is on this. I don't know. It looks pretty tight, but this guy, he was fine. But again, so Caleb went missing on March 4th. Now this field that this lady's in is like right across the street. And it looks like maybe it could have been missed. I mean, this shouldn't have been missed by the searchers, but I don't want to blame them because sometimes you just don't have the manpower. But so it could have been easily overlooked. Maybe it looks like all this stuff is like covering it, so they could have missed it and just walked over it. But that begs the question: if he fell in and this was open from when he went missing, then you would think the searchers, if they did cover this area, they would have noticed that and said, "Hey, there's an open manhole cover." So it'd be interesting to find out those people that did cover this area in the beginning. Did they make a mental note that this was all cleared and there was nothing, nothing open, no manholes, and if that is the case, then that would mean it's likely this body could have been dumped down in there. Again, so many possibilities, but at the very least, according to the blueprints, these lines, which I thought for sure were storm water drains, appear to be sewer. I don't know why there's 3 of them like that. Maybe an expert in the chat can explain. But anyway, where this lady is standing is right across the street here. So this is where he was last seen, and she is literally right here. And it looks like the main line goes through all the way through here, and then it goes this way. You can actually, as I have it, here is, so this is where, let me zoom it out here. This would be where his apartments are. So if we went back and forth, this would be where the street is at. But yeah, that's where his, and then this is where the field is right here. And this is where, right there where I have this video here. So let me just show you the overlay one more time. But that lady was right there. Remains were found here. And here's me overlaying the map. waiting for it. Yeah, here we go. So as you can see, the highway lines up. The street Lexington lines up right here. And then you can tell where it's got this little pyramid shape right here. Or triangle. And then right where there is this intersection here, it lines up with where... Yeah, because, I mean, it lines up with the houses. I mean, I guess if that moved forward, but still, that line still goes over it. Yeah, so, I mean, that line lines up perfectly, which is crazy. So, yeah, so let me get to chat. Sorry. Like I said, I just uncovered this, it's about an hour ago. Geneva, thank you so much for the membership. I'm blessed to still be here. Thank you so much, Geneva. Good to see you. Yeah, who would do such a thing? I know. It's terrible. Ronnie says he was too smart to step in 1 and 2. He was barefoot, so just no. Now remember, that night it was super foggy. I mean, you would think he would be familiar with that area. I don't know how long he's lived there. But was he just kind of wandering around waiting for his food?
Complex. That's where we've joined you from before.
And then just stumbled into it because, yeah, again, it was super foggy. But then, I don't know. I still lean towards more foul play, but we still have to wait till the body's identified before we get too ahead of ourselves. Kelby said, I looked it up. Pipe sizes in inches. Okay, thank you, Kelby. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, in diameter, right? No, Charlie girl. Dog was not missing. He took the dog for one more walk at 2:44. There's a video of him walking the dog that he sent to his sister. And then his phone goes dead at 2:58. And then at 3:03, that Snapchat gets sent to his friend in, I think, San Antonio. But they believe he received it at 3:03. It was probably sent before 2:58. But the other thing is his phone. Oh, that's the other thing. So we'll talk about the phone. I forgot about that. Where exactly was the car accident in relation to everything, Chris? The car accident, for everybody that's wondering, the car accident was... Well, this is the car accident, and this just kind of shows you how foggy that night was. This happened on the San Padre interstate that's next to him. I would say within a mile or less than a mile radius from where he was last seen. He could have heard it, but that would have been the other direction, though. That would have been along this freeway here, and the manhole is here. Again, we still don't know all the details, but at the very least, we know this line goes to this lift station. So at the very least, that is is definitely a possibility that he ended up in that either by choice or not by choice, but on accident or foul play. Optic says, I don't think that pipe in the cornfield flows into the pump station. That's a good question. Like, does it flow out or does it flow in? But they are connected according to the blueprint. That line runs through it. How big was Caleb? I mean, he was That's a good question. I mean, regular college side student, but anyway, let me go back here. Oh, yeah, the phone. That's what I want to get to. So I'm going to talk about the phone here, but let me just get to the super chats, and then we'll talk about the phone. Thank you for being you. Thank you so much, Lucky Shot. That is so awesome. I appreciate the kind words. And thank you so much for the $20. That's so awesome. Oh, Lucky Shot again. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Lucky Shot. And then there's another one. I don't know if that doubled up, though. That could have been 2. But I do appreciate that so much. For those that might be new to the channel, not only do we cover true crime, but we actually go out and search for the missing, and we are actively looking for a missing teenager, Aiden Clune, and we recently actually found his shoes, the first physical evidence in 2 years. Now, I don't want to talk too much and get people confused with 2 cases, but if you'd like to donate, that does help us because we do go out and help search for missing people. And once we get done with Aiden Clune's case, we're going to hopefully work on Jason Laundrie, which is in Texas. Anyway, the phone ping. So what's interesting about the phone is the phone supposedly, if you follow it, actually, I haven't even followed this line here. The phone ping. Here's another one we need to do. So bear with me for just a second. Now, the weird thing, and I would say this kind of leads towards foul play, is his phone just abruptly ended at 2:58. Now, even if the battery died, because he had an iPhone, we believe he had an iPhone because the family says, or they all said they all had Apple products. So I'm assuming he had an iPhone. iPhones usually have a thing where even if the battery dies, it still saves some electricity or power in the Wi-Fi chips, that you can still get pings sometimes up to 24 hours after the phone has died. So the fact that there's no pings after 2:58 to me indicates that that phone was destroyed. Now, it could be a similar case where it's like Riley Strain, and the phone just... because of the water, it got, even though they're kind of waterproof, if it gets to a certain depth, that probably killed it. Oh, I know what I was trying to do. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to put this together. So they said the phone was right here. Okay. I just want to see if I can line this up real quick for you guys. Okay. So they said the phone ping was around this area here. This is the pain clinic, right? Pain clinic, which is right here. There it is. So this is where supposedly the phone was the last ping, which is interesting because now you do have the storm drain water, but you also have the sewer lines here. It would be really interesting to find out. This is what I just didn't have time, is do they flow this way? Because if you go in a straight line, this does almost line up. If the water flow went west, I guess I should say, from the well station or lift station here. But the way it lines up, that is kind of interesting. That phone could be in the sewer lines. I think I would have to do this. I'd probably have to pull up the thing, but yeah, let me get to chat for a minute, and then I'll see if I can do something. Let's see if I can get this. I think I broke my chat here. There we go. Lucky Shot, I'm sending money through PayPal. Is that better? PayPal's awesome. Thank you so much. If you do, please just put it in the chat so I can shout you out. And then I do want to shout people that have been supporting me on the GoFundMe, because we spent a lot of money searching for Aiden. We're gonna bring him home. It's gonna take a little bit more effort. Gail Hurd, thank you so much for gifting a Mob Crew membership. I appreciate it. Zenabi says, but not if you turned it off. So that's a good question, Zenabi. I don't know if you turn it off if that still works, because can they still get a ping if that turns off? That's a good question, Zenabi. I wonder if I should look that up. Gear Dog Pratt. I think that's out. Yeah, Gear Dog Pratt. Thank you so much for the $4.99. Just making sure I got it right. Rainy Days, thank you so much for being a member for 25 months. One other thing that I'll mention, again, this is kind of going more towards, we like to stick with facts on this channel, but there was something kind of interesting we'll just bring up since everybody's here. If I can. So please keep this with a huge grain of salt, as I don't know if this is really true, but there was a statement that said, "Hi there, I lived in Corpis Christi, just down the road from where Caleb lived. Went missing where the body was found. Heartbroken." Again, we don't know if it's Caleb. I mean, if I had to lean one way or the other, I would say it's, I mean, there's no mention of anybody else missing in that area. Not to say a body could have been dropped from another town or another state, but I think it's a good possibility it may be Caleb, but we still have to wait. But anyway, it says, searched countless hours for the sweet boy, but I wanted to tell you I'm afraid to comment. A while back, we are floored. Obviously, zero vetting was done. Where is it? So it says that a city worker allegedly, so keep in mind, a city worker allegedly had took off with, I can't even use that word, bad stuff and workers. And of course, they lost their job. However, he still has the key. So basically, in short, it's claiming that some guy left his job to do other things, and he took his keys with him. Again, I don't know the validity to that story. I don't know if that, how to vet that, if that's true or not. But if, say, the body was dumped in the actual well station itself, because it is fenced off, that adds an interesting theory. But I would say that's kind of more on the just take with a huge grain of salt. No, storm drains and sewage pipes, they do not intersect. They are separate entities. We actually, there's a statement, I think I have it. Oh, so here's this. So, just looking at that, that looks like somebody could fall in it. Especially imagine if this dry corn weed or whatever this is was kind of covering it, and he fell through. And then if that, it, according to the blueprints, it connects to the station. I wish we could put Google Earth over it, like but this is the station here, and this is I believe this is the road right here. So the road would be right here, and then it would be approximately about right here, if we looked at it. Because the road flows this way here, but that would be what it right there. Or could it be that something nefarious happened to Caleb, and then somebody came back and dropped him down there, and maybe left the manhole open on purpose to make it look like it, if they eventually found him, it was an accident. Many scenarios. Hide-Seek says one thing, they need to make it more secure. I totally agree. Especially, if this accident, this would be a terrible, it's terrible no matter what. But, yeah, to lose someone's life so carelessly because of somebody didn't cover a manhole. Again, that night was super foggy. I don't know why he would wander over to this area, but considering how close it was, I wouldn't say it's not impossible. Another thing you have to consider is his phone definitely, in my opinion, went dark between two. Oh, let me pull it up here. So his phone went dark between 2:45 and 2:58. Even though this says 3:03, whatever happened between 2:45 and 2:58. He left his keys, his wallet on the kitchen counter. So his roommate, and he typically orders Uber Eats, and I think he had school the next day. I think like kind of a early afternoon or late morning class, if I recall. Correct me if I'm wrong in chat, but I think that's something, so that's why he was kind of up a little bit later, because he could kind of sleep in, grab his Uber Eats, and then that was his kind of lunch or breakfast or whatever. But 13 minutes, that's not a lot of, still a lot of time, but it's not. So really, really strange. Could he have been hit by a car and ended up in the manhole? Yeah, you gotta, who knows? Yeah, could it be somebody hit him and then freaked out and wanted to hide the body? That's happened, sure. Brian's ramblings. Being a member, cut paste above, we can see flooding. I'm not sure what you mean, Brian, but I do appreciate the $2. Cut paste above. I apologize. I'm not sure what you're talking about. But let me again, I wish I would have had more time to kind of see if I could figure out what way these flow. I don't. It says down. Oh wait, hold on. Downstream, upstream. Okay, how do we figure? Upstream. Downstream. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just seeing if upstream, downstream. I'd have to play with this and see, but yeah, I'm sure it seems like you could figure out what is upstream and downstream, but I don't. Again, I just discovered this website, so I'm sure I'd have to play with it, but it seems like you could figure out by putting in certain values what. Wait a minute. Upstream. Is it just telling me that because I have it selected? And it also says upstream. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to play with it. But yeah, I'm sure you could probably figure out if this is downstream or upstream to this. But it does connect. So, yeah, the Jason Laundry case, yeah. There's so many that are baffling. They did have flood waters. Yeah, that's what they figured why he was found in, or why these remains were found in the first place. But again, storm water and sewage water, they're just two different lines. They're, they don't connect. I think I have a video that explains I may have taken that out. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, basically, here's an example. So, here you've got this sewage, and then you've got the stormwater, which they run fairly parallel to each other. I'm assuming that just makes it easier for them to install both piping. But they're supposedly not supposed to connect to each other. But, man, that was interesting that those do look like it connects, but I'll definitely have to look at it after I go get off live. If anybody figures anything out, if you want to email me, I'm sure there's somebody that knows how to work that website. Hey Chris, what kind of drone do you use? I have a DJI Air 3. It's back there. That's a great drone. It's a $1,500 drone. It's good for what I do. Lucky Shot. I don't know if that's another one or not. I think that's an old one. But again, thank you, Lucky Shot. And if you did send a PayPal, thank you so much. Cat in the Hat. So did they find his cell? I thought one of the girls found was something else. Yeah, I don't think they found his cell phone. The thing that I was talking about was the cell phone ping that was supposedly by the Pain Management Center, which is kind of 2 blocks west. And it is kind of interesting that it is just kind of within that straight line that goes. So I am just saying it's, maybe it's possible that phone ended up with the remains up, if it did go that direction. Again, it's still early days, but with them finding the body almost a week ago, we still have, and I think what will probably happen is I wouldn't be surprised, depending on the body. I mean, it seemed like it was pretty intact. I'm assuming what will happen, and I'm sure many agree, is even though they may probably identify it pretty quickly, they'll probably wait until the autopsy and then release everything at the same time. That would be my guess. So it's possible that maybe they already know whose body that is, but again, that's just speculation. But I do think they'll probably do the ID and the autopsy and then release both. Especially if there's like foul play, they'll probably want to, they probably don't want to release that prematurely. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Brian's, storm surge, heavy rain. Share this title. Oh, you want me to share this title? Oh, that's what you want. Oh. Okay. As long as you ain't taking me to something bad. Unfortunately, I can't copy and paste, so I can put... I'm assuming, so this is, Was this the one that came before? So this is June 19th. So this is the one that came along just before they found the remains.
Foxnews.com just got a little better. We're still the go-to for politics, breaking news, but we've got so much more.
But what's weird is, if the storm and the sewer are not connected, like, how did that play a part? But wow, that's crazy.
In Corpis Christi, Robert, you have seen similar scenarios where that water has gotten way too close for comfort.
That is pretty nuts.
It has in many spots. We just got done driving the coastline here in Corpus Christi, and at this point where I'm standing, this is probably the most surge that we're seeing coming in on the bay of Corpus Christi right here. You see this fence behind me. That leads to a walkway that goes out into the marina in pretty close to downtown Corpus Christi, and you see the water coming in, at least a foot of water over.
Yeah, that's pretty wild though. Rebate says, seems put there on purpose, would have someone close that's familiar with the drainage pipes to know it's there. Right. You're dying to know what I think as far as... I'm not sure on the question. Oh no, this is wrong. If in storm. That's okay, Brian. My view is I lean towards foul play, but with this, if this connects, I think he could have been placed down there. But I could still see it being an accident, him falling in if it was open originally. But again, that's if it flows that way. I mean, we know it connects, but the question is does it flow that way? Sorry, I'm just looking at chat. Anything else? But I'll probably do a short video on this as well, explaining it some more. I'm going to look into the, see if I can figure out which way that flows. But just one more thing I just want to mention for anybody that's new to the channel is, again, we not only cover true crime, but we do go out and help people. And one of the cases we've been working on is Aiden Clune. I have tons of videos on him. I'm not going to kind of recap everything, but he went missing in Wells, Nevada. We've been searching for him for 2 years, not just us, many others, but we've recently been out there a lot, and we finally found the first physical evidence in 2 years, and that was his shoes. It was a huge find. We do believe it's a good possibility he is out there, and we have covered a lot of ground. And we believe it only could take maybe a couple more trips out there to recover and bring him home. So a great way to support that cause is to, PayPal, Venmo. I also have a GoFundMe just because it just costs a lot to go out and search because you have to travel a ways and it just adds up. But we know we're close. So, anybody that's donated to GoFundMe, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys are truly, truly amazing. But here's one more time. There's the sewer line. There's where the remains were found. That's where the open manhole was. It does connect, so that's kind of interesting. I'll look into it more. If I do find something, I'll probably have a short video. We'll go live tomorrow with it. And then again, if you guys, anybody plays around with the website, which it's pretty easy. You just look up wastewater Corpus Christi sewer lines, and it comes up right here. Wastewater mains. And it seems like it's got a lot to it. Just unfortunately, I haven't had time to really kind of play with it, but it does show all the lines. So if you want to try figuring something out, and if you figure out which way those lines go, if you could email me, that would be awesome. Again, thank you to my wonderful mods for all the wonderful work you guys do, and then of course to my members and Patreons. And if you did PayPal or Venmo or GoFundMe, thank you again so much. So, the link to the GoFundMe is right there. I don't know if I can pin it or not. I can't pin it. I don't know if the mods can pin it or not. It is also in the description as well. There's a link. I don't know why it won't let me pin it. It's weird. So, but I hope you guys have the rest of a great Sunday. And again, we'll be back here live same time tomorrow, Monday. And I'm going to look more into this as well. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and play the outro. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.